What's good, Keiser family? My name is Tom Green, and today I'll be discussing a hot topic in the news, research, and basically everywhere: artificial intelligence, or AI. Specifically, we'll be looking at its use within workplace selection. Organizations are pushing these tools for productivity and competitive advantage. They don't want to be left behind, and yet they expose themselves to increased risks of liability and actually lower quality hires, the very thing they're designed to do. Here's the problem. Use of selection tools that are perceived to be unfair have been shown to lower organizational attractiveness, job acceptance intentions, and organizational trust. People don't want to work for a company they don't trust or think is fair. And when companies use AI decision makers that feel opaque and impersonal with little to no feedback, fairness concerns grow, leading to increased turnover and litigation. So let's talk about the gap in existing research. Modern AI technologies and their use in workplace selection only started being implemented recently. So there's relatively little research on the topic, or even instruments that measure their impacts. AI tools in the workplace is a relatively new stream of research that originated from the field of computer science that is focused on algorithmic efficiency and AI adoption. Their focus is on making AI products and getting people to buy and use them. Existing research, therefore, has come predominantly from the user perspective, like recruiters or managers, not from the point of view of job candidates. From job candidate perspectives, there have been two recent studies, one that looked at the impact of positioning AI tools in the initial phase versus the final phase of selection, and another investigated the impact of the decision maker. Basically, how does a human versus an AI impact job candidate fairness? However, in real-world contexts, AI is usually implemented with a human in the loop, where you have an AI tool that supplements or supports a human decision maker. My research addressed these gaps by including a combined human-AI condition and investigated potential interaction effects between phase and decision maker, and explored potential moderating effects of candidates' general attitudes towards AI. Guiding the study, I had research questions that tested whether decision maker, selection phase, or their interaction influenced perceived fairness, and whether attitudes toward AI impacted those relationships. The first factor, decision maker, had three levels or conditions: human, AI, and combined. And the second factor, selection phase, had two levels, the initial and final phases. The attitudinal measure, the GACE, was made up of two discrete scales, with the positive scale capturing constructs such as benefits or optimism, and the negative capturing constructs like skepticism or distrust. Moving on to the methods section, the study used a 3x2 between subjects design, meaning I had 6 separate groups like human in initial or human in final phase and so on. Each group was presented with a vignette adapted from previous research by adding a combined AI human decision maker, and participants were presented with a hiring scenario and then asked to judge how fair they felt the process was. We recruited the sample online via Prolific and had a final sample of 194 after attention checks and exclusions. The experimental condition groups were balanced with 30 to 34 participants per group, and we used SPSS for factorial ANOVA and Hayes Process Model 3 for moderation analysis. Now for the results and discussion section. The first key finding was that human decision makers were perceived as the fairest, as shown in the chart below. So if you look there, you can see this is an error bar chart. So the blue dot represents the mean, and the whiskers or lines there, that's the confidence, the 95% confidence intervals. So you can see that humans were clearly rated as the fairest, perceived to be fairest, and interestingly, the combined condition was rated as the least fair, which is contrary to a lot of research that assumes if you have a human in the loop, it will restore fairness perceptions. But here you can see in the chart that it actually isn't so. The second key finding was that selection phase didn't matter. The third was that there was no phase decision maker interaction. And fourth, attitudes toward AI didn't moderate any of these relationships. So let's wrap this up and move on to conclusions. The limitations included the online sample, the use of hypothetical scenarios, and results should also be limited to AI technologies that are video-based, because there's so many different AI technologies that can be used in selection. In future research, it'd be great to have a sample of actual job candidates or longitudinal designs where you can see how results predict future outcomes like litigation or retention. Overall, this study informs us that human decision makers remain the gold standard, and that keeping the human element is critical in attracting and hiring the best talent. This carries several implications for organizations that want to attract top talent or who want to use AI tools responsibly and effectively. Organizations shouldn't assume simply adding a human in the loop will eliminate fairness concerns, and this highlights the importance of transparency and communication, especially with AI-based methods. Candidates need to know what data is being used, how it's job-related, and how decisions are being determined. From a risk management perspective, organizations should evaluate AI selection tools not only for efficiency and predictive validity, but also through candidate reactions, as AI selection tools influence attraction, acceptance, trust, turnover, and even litigation. Well, thank you for your time. And if you have any questions or want to learn more about this topic, feel free to reach out to me or my advisor. My email address is Tom C Green at me.com. Thank you.